In this tutorial, we take a look at how to use the Luminosity Masking section of the Beauty Retouch panel. Luminosity selections are created based on the luminosity values in an image, and luminosity masks are layer masks which are created based on those luminosity selections. You can use luminosity masking for a myriad of advanced adjustments in your retouching, including adjusting the color and luminosity of the highlights or shadows, color grading your images, mattifying shiny skin, or making the highlights pop, among other things. The luminosity masking scripts on our panel make it really easy to take advantage of luminosity selections without having to deal with their complex creation process. Before creating luminosity masks, be sure to finish your main retouching work, so that you are not creating masks based on unretouched information, which may include blemishes and other undesirable luminosity inconsistencies. To create a specific luminosity mask, you will need to always begin by pressing the Basic button first. Then you can press the plus button to widen the selection by including more of the darker areas of the image into it, or you can narrow the basic selection by pressing the minus button, so only the brighter highlights will be included in it. You can press either the plus or the minus button multiple times to expand or minimize your selection further. For example, to isolate only the brightest highlights, press the minus button as many times as needed for the image at hand. You can then apply this selection to an adjustment layer mask to manipulate the brightness or colors of the highlight area you have selected. For instance, you can increase the brightness of the highlights with a curve to make them pop more, or do the opposite and mattify the highlights by lowering the curve. If the mask is including some areas of the image that you don't want your adjustments to affect, such as the teeth and the whites of the eyes, simply conceal them with a black brush on the layer mask. Your luminosity mask is what helps to restrict the adjustments to only the highlights of the image. And if, for example, you need to only adjust the color or brightness of the shadows in your image, you can isolate them by pressing the Basic button, then the plus button 2 or more times depending on the image at hand. This will expand your selection and only the darkest parts of the image will remain unselected. Press the invert button and it will invert the selection so that the darkest parts of the image become selected, and you can now isolate them with a mask. The broader the initial selection, the more the inverted selection will be limited to the darkest shadows in the image. Once the necessary areas of your image are isolated with the layer mask, you can adjust their darkness or color with any adjustment layers you would like. As you can see, the luminosity masking section of the Beauty Retouch panel gives you a quick and intuitive way to easily create luminosity masks as part of your retouching workflow.